Is the chairman of Pakistan's People's Party, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Mr. Zardari, thank you very much indeed for coming to speak to us this morning. Just what we mentioned there, the fact that there are lots of countries grappling with the problem of how they are or will try to cope with this. What are your concerns about Pakistan?
Thank you, Tom, and thank you for having me. Absolutely. I mean, this is a global pandemic that has caused the entire globe and all countries to scramble in their response, and Pakistan has been doing the same. As far as the international response to COVID and Pakistan's response to COVID, we do have our concerns. Internationally, we've seen over the past 5 to 10 years the world move away from multilateralism and towards a more popular nationalism at a time when the globe, at a time when the world needs to be cooperating as far as supply chains for what we need to deal with the emergency of the pandemic, and eventually we hope for a vaccine. We see that the United States has a president who has scoffed at multilateralism, who has engaged in trade wars, and who currently in places like Iran, still inhumane sanctions are in place that put the people of Iran and the people of the region in danger. We have India, who's also one of the largest medicine producers in the globe, but is also being led by a Hindu nationalist who antagonize its neighbors. The state of Kashmir with the Muslim population has been in a lockdown for 250 days since before Corona. So there's that aspect of our concern about whether there'll be an equitable, egalitarian response at a global level where we have poor countries and rich countries receiving what they need to save their citizens' lives.
Yeah, what about your own Prime Minister? I mean, you're obviously in opposition, the Pakistan People's Party, but your own Prime Minister Imran Khan, having to deal with a population, I think he said in a recent address, of course, you'll know this, that 25% of Pakistanis can't afford to eat 2 times a day as it is. You've gone into lockdown. I mean, how big is the concern about the effect the lockdown has on the Pakistani people?
The effect of both the coronavirus and the lockdown are going to be immense on the people of Pakistan. While we are in opposition and have been playing a very vehement and aggressive role within the opposition, as soon as the coronavirus reached the shores of Pakistan, the opposition parties came forward and offered to set aside all differences to work with the federal government. Unfortunately, the federal government in Pakistan has been slow to respond, almost apathetic. There's been confusion and lack of coordination that only adds to our problems and our woes. As you mentioned, our health sector may be overwhelmed. That is something that we all fear will happen. Pakistan has 0.6 beds per 1,000, whereas countries like Italy have 3.4, or the UK have 2.8, and we understand that the health systems in these countries have also come under stress. That is why it's all the more important for Pakistan to make full use of a lockdown to trace, track, locate, isolate individuals who've been affected by this, and drastically increase our health capacity at a war footing. Pakistan has almost had a bottom-up response to the coronavirus, with local provincial governments responding with very little support from the federal government. And we are still we're sort of demanding that we get that sort of support to help increase our health capacity to help deal with coronavirus.
Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, thank you for explaining and spelling out some of the problems that you face, and we hope to speak to you again as the crisis unfolds, and wish you the very best. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.